Have you always had that, or is it something that's developed over time?
I was actually thinking about this yesterday. I was thinking, like, where is it all stemmed from? And I think I probably have had it from...
Welcome to Finding My User Manual, the podcast about how to be human when no one handed you the instructions. My name is Tiggs Rice and I am an empowerment photographer based in London, UK. And today I am joined by the one and only Joy Brett. Hi.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I am so excited to have you on. You are so often behind the scenes and it's so lovely to see your face and hear your voice. You're just saying this is the first podcast that you
Yeah, anything, like it's a world first. So.
We have an exclusive. We have an absolute exclusive right here. So for anyone who has not yet had the pleasure of meeting you, let me give you a full hype intro. So Joy Brett is a filmmaker, storyteller, and the founder of Eureka Creative, a media agency dedicated to helping brands and thought leaders show up, level up, and share their unique stories. Working across London and the home counties, Joy brings together photography, videography, social media, and filmmaking under one creative vision. If it tells a story, she is all in. At the heart of her work is a deep belief in storytelling as a tool for connection, ditching polished output in favour of meaningful human narratives that resonate. An award-winning director, Joy was recognised with the Mike Newell? If I pronounced that right? Mike Newell Award for directing at the Visions Film Festival 2023, as well as the Creative Entrepreneurship Award at Flair Enterprise Awards 2024. Alongside running her business, she's also completing a Master's in Global Film and Television, continuing to deepen her understanding of the craft she loves. But Joy's work goes beyond storytelling on screen. She is also passionate about opening up conversations that are often left out of entrepreneurship, speaking candidly about living with borderline personality disorder, bipolar disorder, depression, and anxiety. Rather than separating these experiences from her work, she brings them into it, shaping how she builds her business, how she defines success, and how she shows up in the world. Thank you so much for being here.
That was a very good intro, I must say.
Well, I mean, you helped write half of it. I just added a couple of sentences. If you came with a user manual, what would it say on page 1?
Well, the first bit would definitely be, for best results, place in an environment with animals.
Mm-hmm.
And I am bilingual and fluent in many animal languages, as well as probably... something about when you first meet me, it'll take a bit of time for me to warm up. It's nothing personal. I'm like that with everyone. And yeah, be kind, sort of be patient as well. I often struggle to find words. I'll find them in the end. It just takes a minute. And if you're feeling things, I'll pick up on it straight away. Yeah, definitely an empath. So if you're feeling sad, I feel sad. If you're feeling happy, I'll feel happy. But yeah, so yeah, I pick up on things. Yeah, I think it's a bit like a sixth sense. So yeah.
I do think being an empath is, you're right, I think it is a sixth sense. It's like having the ability to be so in tune with how someone else is feeling.
Yeah.
Have you always had that, or is it something that's developed over time?
I was actually thinking about this yesterday. I was thinking, like, where is it all stemmed from? And I think... I probably have had it from quite a while back, and it's probably, whether you'd say it's worsened or got better, I don't know. I feel like I'm more tuned into it now than I was when I was a kid, but it was there was definite signs of it there. And I think it was also kind of a thing of, I'd be watching films, like film's a huge thing for me, and I'd be like, if someone in the scene is feeling sad, I would feel that. And I think probably early on for me, it was if family weren't feeling well, I would pick up on it and I'd feel quite like I need to try and fix that. And also with animals as well, like if there's a stray cat and I feel like they're lonely, so I feel lonely, I feel like I need to fill that gap for them. Yeah, so it's definitely built up over the years, but I think it's probably been there since childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You I mean, you adore animals.
Yeah.
Give us a rundown of who you live with.
Well, I say currently. Currently, I live with Ruby. She's some sort of mix of dog. We don't know what sort. She's probably Staffy, probably something else. We're not sure. She's wild and we love her. Then we've got 2 cats. Dizzy, who was rescued. We always get confused because originally it was a girl, we were told, but it's actually a boy. He was left in a box outside Pets at Home.
No.
And they said, we can't do anything with him.
Yeah.
We know you love animals. Can you take him? So we took him. And then my baby is Binks. Like a black cat. He's gorgeous. Dizzy's like a mixed tabby ginger. He's gorgeous, by the way. And my pride and joy is my hamster called Riff Raff. He's been with us for a few years. So, yeah.
Has it been a few years now? I hadn't realised it'd been that long.
Oh, years, yeah. Coming up probably June, July. Might be July, actually. Yeah, that's when he would have been born.
If anyone who has ever emailed me, my out of office actually says on it, there's a bit at the bottom that says cute kitten emergencies. And it literally says, if you happen to have photos of fluffy cats, any animals, but specifically fluffy cats, I would like them in my DMs, please. Yeah. And actually, funnily enough, I mentioned this recently on a talk, and by the end of the talk, I checked my DMs and there were 3 cats in there. We often have a back and forth where you'll send some cute pet photos my way.
Yeah,
have you always had animals in your life?
Oh, since like when I was born, like it was even... I think it was when I was little, my mum had a goat. She had a goat, which was quite interesting. I don't remember it. His name was Nathan. So
what an amazing goat name.
Honestly, I don't know where she got it from, but it was probably Guys and Dolls, maybe. I think, she's a musical nerd. But so goats, we've had rabbits, we've taken in pigeons, we've taken in a bee. His name was Bernie. He lived in a fish tank.
Wow.
Yeah, not with water in it.
Well, yeah. For clarity, he was dry.
Yeah, he was dry. He was very dry, yeah. It's just since birth, and we'll take anything in. Yeah, it's just... I think it's probably that empathy side of things. It's just, I need to take care of them. Yeah.
Have you always felt that connection with animals?
Yeah.
Maybe more than humans, or same as humans?
Probably more with animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like even though you don't speak the same language, or I think I do, you can read them more. Like they don't always listen, but you can tell, and they also can tell with you as well, especially with dogs. Quite often if I'm low, my dog will come over and she'll be so well behaved in that moment, and she'll just sort of, you can tell she's trying to comfort you. Yeah.
What do you think it is about animals that makes us as humans feel so much easier in their presence, or calm in their presence? For the most part, I mean, everyone has an animal probably that they don't like as much or are scared of, but what do you think it is that brings that calming presence?
I feel like it's probably actually maybe the language barrier. Like whether you're having an argument with family, friends or something, or like someone's been complaining all day or something like that. It's that quiet, I think, that's comforting. It's like they're there, but also they know if you don't need them. It's like that space, but also they can be there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that even mixture.
What do you think it's taught you about connection?
Taught me about connection. It can come in different forms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people show their love in different ways, or anything shows their love in a different way. It's not the same for every person.
You spend quite a lot of your time within social media. I mean, again, like many of us in this sphere, chronically online, I would say.
Definitely.
And so you actually have a lot of connection with a lot of people, potentially online through like maybe messaging rather than phone calls or whatever.
Yeah.
How do you find that sort of connection with so many different people?
Well, like, is it challenging, or how do I make the connections happen?
But I mean, both, with however you feel most comfortable to answer that question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always quite apprehensive with new people, especially if it's a complete clean slate. Like, if there's a mutual friend, it's slightly easier. Yeah, I mean, there is a slight anxiety for me with new people. I feel like if they've found my page and they've reached out to me, maybe they're a bit more accepting, whereas if they've maybe been suggested me and then they look at my page, I think, oh, I'm not sure what you think about me. Yeah, there's a lot of apprehension. I feel like you sort of have to, I feel like there's more of a boundary to start with, which I suppose everyone has anyway. But I think my quirkiness and all of that kind of gets put on the back foot to start with until I feel like there's trust. And I suppose it's the same with them as well.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're meeting someone for the first time. I try and be, I suppose, more as authentic as I can be myself. But I suppose there are levels of how much someone gets access to that version of me. And especially, I suppose, if you're meeting someone online, or even, even at a networking, or, you're out and having a personal day or whatever, I guess it is, how much access do you give? Do you think that's something that is there a reason that maybe that guard is up for you?
I think people can switch very quickly and you don't know what side of them you're getting. And I think I've had a lot of experiences with people that I've had one impression of them and then it's completely switched. So I don't really know where I stand. So I feel like that guard is always up, just because you don't know when the tables are going to turn and things are going to change, and it might go downhill, it might even get better, but yeah, I think that guard's there anyway. Yeah.
Do you think you'd describe yourself as an introvert?
I would yes, but then if you're like in my really tight circle, you get exclusive access to my quirky side.
Yes. Do you know, I have some incredible friends that are introverts, but in a place of safety, they are their loud, like, exclusive personalities are just fabulous. Actually, I'd say they're more extrovert even than I am on a good day. So, and when do you know it's the right time? When is it the right time to show someone that side of you?
I don't know. I think there's probably only actually one person in my life that has like complete access to everything, and that's my mum. But I think everyone has different layers of access to things. Like, I suppose you probably have different, because we're good friends, I would say. You have probably different access to, say, what my brother has. But you probably know a lot more about me than some of my family does. I think it's just, if I think someone's had similar experiences, that's when the guard comes down, I think. And if they can relate and they've experienced it for themselves, I don't feel as much of an outsider. I think that's probably the big thing. I feel like an outsider in most situations. But being with people that have had the same experience makes that big difference. Yeah.
In terms of feeling like an outsider, what is maybe a misconception about you that people might think that you'd like to correct?
I don't know. Just because we're an outsider doesn't mean that there isn't something in common. Yeah, I think there's certain things I do that are very different, very out there. But then I suppose I am human as well, and we're all human. We all feel things, and even if you just have one thing in common, I think that's something to build on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you are so active talking about mental health.
Yeah.
And that has been a huge part of your life. And also, I love how incredibly open you are about talking about it as well. In fact, you put up a post the other day on your birthday, which, by the way, if anyone wants to go to your socials, it is just your feed is public anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll make sure that it's in the show notes if anyone wants to go and read it. But
Perfect.
talk to me about the reasons that perhaps you choose to be so open about something that for many people, I suppose, is quite an intimate thing for them. Like, what is your decision on how that, or what you choose, I suppose, to share?
Well, I think I probably really noticed it when I was a teenager, and I think that the anxiety was there then. I think sort of towards the end of secondary school is when it peaked quite badly. But I especially noticed it around the time there was a slight period with sort of celebrities speaking about it, and some people sort of with suicide and stuff like that. Especially the one that resonated with me was with Linkin Park, their lead singer.
Yes.
And I remember I posted about it saying it's such a loss. And yeah, like, people shouldn't feel like they can't talk about how they're experiencing life in that moment. And I actually had people messaging me saying that, it just makes them weak, or it makes them selfish. And at the time I was a bit like, well, I disagree. And I remember having a conversation with my family about it. And I said, well, how can people think that, like, it's completely wrong? You don't know what position someone's in. And I said, is there like an experience of that with our family? And there was an experience with, I think it was my great-granddad or something. And I wouldn't say that anyone that's feeling that way is weak. But I hadn't experienced it in that moment. So I just sort of said, okay, like, it's awful that that's happened, but I can't have an opinion on something I haven't experienced.
Yeah.
And then as I sort of went through uni and I started to feel those sorts of feelings, and I experienced it myself, people saying, oh, you're just weak, you're too emotional, you can't cope. And I thought, well, no, I can't cope, but that doesn't make me weak, that just makes me more sensitive to those sorts of feelings. And I thought, it's this really bad dialogue that we're sort of, I think it's starting to change now, but you still hear it from the sidelines that it's just people that don't understand. They've not experienced it themselves, so you can't talk on something you don't know. And I think it's people that have experienced it do need to try and destigmatise it. And I feel like I've tried healing myself over the past year and a half, and I'm reaching a point where I'm like, I'm tired of this dialogue. I think now is the time to speak on it, and I'm in a position, and I'm healthy enough now that I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that when I was growing up, it just was rarely ever talked about. And I think it's so refreshing that mental health is a topic that gets brought up. I mean, I feel like it comes up daily at this point. It's so, wonderfully refreshing for people to actually be saying, this is going on, like, this is how I feel, or to even just disclose, I go to therapy. I've had therapy. I don't think that I had access to conversations like that growing up, and even I think it was the mid-20s before I was like, hey, let's give therapy a go, that sounds like fun. And honestly, I think also I went in, and I will openly say, I went into my first therapy session ever saying, well, I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah.
But, everyone's saying this has been healing and wonderful for them, and like, let's give it a go. And I genuinely walked into that room going, well, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I walked out 45 minutes later and I had been bawling my eyes out and was like, yeah, I'm going to have to come back next week.
Yeah.
And I think it's so interesting that once you start that journey, it's almost like you have to really go in to like
You do.
come out the other side.
Yeah.
What has therapy done? I mean, not going into the specifics, obviously, but like, what has it done for you in terms of helping you get to a place where you now feel comfortable to share some of this story with other people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I tried therapy. I've tried a few different sorts, and I've taken a few things away from all the different sorts I've tried. Like, a lot of it is when I get the overwhelm and the anxiety, it's like certain exercises, like things I can do with my hands. Looking at things, like there's one that I do, it's like if I'm overwhelmed.
Hold that thought. What was the question I asked you?
What things have I taken from therapy?
Yeah. What things have you taken from therapy?
Oh, one second.
No, it's fine. As long as you know what that's coming, then yeah.
Perfect. I suppose what I've taken from therapy is I've tried loads of different types, and last year it was more psychological talking, and before that I've done loads of different types of cognitive behavioural ones, and from the cognitive stuff I've taken a lot of things. So if I'm feeling the overwhelm and anxiety, it's like things I can do with my hands as like a distraction, as well as things like there's one activity I do, it's like you can swap it around, it doesn't matter what order you do, but it's like 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can taste, and something you can smell. You can do it in different orders, but yeah, I do that one, and if I'm with people and I can tell they're feeling that way, I'm just like, okay, what's 5 things you can see? And then we go through it again and repeat. So that works for me really well. But from talking therapy, I think I struggled a lot with it. And I suppose that's part of my conditions. I struggle with the trust side of things anyway, but I felt kind of judged in those situations. But what I took from it was that I don't need to keep it all inside, because I think I'd done that for a long, long time. And I think she even said to me one time, the person that I was seeing, that you don't have to keep everything locked in the wardrobe. Like, you can take stuff out, rearrange it, like look at what you've got.
Hold that thought.
What's going on today?
I don't know.
A lot of crime.
Yeah, go in, I reckon.
Start from the one thing she said to me was, don't take it all.
Okay. But yeah, the one thing that she did tell me that I do sort of think about on a regular basis is that you don't have to keep everything locked in a wardrobe. Like, you can take stuff out, unpack it, think about it, but put it back at the end of the day. Like, you don't have to keep thinking about it all the time. So I do have people in my support network that they're willing to sort of listen to me, and there's that trust there, so I don't feel judged, and I can unpack it and then put it back in the wardrobe. Yeah.
How do you navigate what you choose to tell people versus what stays inside? And I don't mean necessarily in the therapy session, but for those around you, and especially in a professional setting, do you feel it's easier now to disclose than it has been?
I think it depends on the people I'm with. So some clients, they've approached certain topics with me and they've been open, and I think, well, there's some common ground here, so we can talk about that as well. So I've had that, it's like a specific experience with one client, but I would never sort of go straight to them with that information, because I feel like they need to, that I'm the person they're employing for their services. So if they feel like they want to be open with me, then we can have a dialogue, and that will build trust in the end. But yeah, I think if they're sort of building the bridge, you just sort of, you just give it back in a way. Yeah. If you have that experience, if you don't, then you just help them through it if that's what they need. Yeah.
And through sharing it online, How have you found the reaction to be in general?
Do you know what? I actually can't complain.
I love that.
I've had, I think every single person that I've shared it with online has been really positive. Yeah, I think it's when I do other things that the negativity creeps in. Like when I first tried doing, like I think I did a video challenge last year, and some comments were made about how I was very robotic, and it's like I can see why they've said that, but I don't think the negativity was needed really. But yeah, in terms of like being honest about mental health, it's been completely positive, I suppose. It's kind of good that I think maybe the way it's going in with mental health is if people don't have a nice thing to say, they're not saying it. In my experience, anyway. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have had a different experience.
I think there's such a vast array of internet personalities, shall we say?
Yeah.
And you know, it is so interesting. And I think as a neurodivergent person myself, one of the things I really struggle at, I can make eye contact with you while you're talking to me, and the second I have to talk about anything or even open my mouth and talk, I struggle with eye contact so bad. And I do struggle with looking to camera, and I thankfully, like, I'm across from you, so I have to stare at the camera that's right over there. And even then, I've just realised I didn't even make contact with the lens. I looked exactly to the side of it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah, it's I think it's an interesting space to be turning up online as a neurodivergent person who maybe, you know, the way that we interact with people is different, or the way that we experience human connection. And, you know, I think there's a whole studies of like when people look at each other. And I don't know if you've ever had this, but it's like, I'm so conscious when I'm having a conversation, like I have to not just stare directly at them and like, do I pick an eye, or like, you know, how am I actually coming across? And
yeah, exactly.
it's a lot, right?
Yeah, it's like if someone's eyes wander when they're talking to me, like they look above my head, I'm like, oh, is there something there? Or like, I think if someone's eyes are flicking between my eyes, I'm like, oh, am I being boring? I just read so much into it. Yeah.
Yeah, or is my inability to make eye contact while talking actually, like, is it offending them?
Exactly,
So,
yeah. It's really hard. You just have to get out of your head in a way, but I think also it is that protecting yourself as well.
Yeah. But then actually, I have to say, I mean, no one's ever actually pulled me up on not being able to like make eye contact. So yeah. I mean, we put ourselves out there, right? It takes all kinds of humans.
Exactly, yeah. You've got to put yourself out there to test what works, haven't you?
You described yourself in your first page of your user manual as being able to pick up on people's emotions very, very easily. What maybe about that is a positive or potentially a negative for you?
It can be quite draining. It can be very draining. But then also, when I flip it on its head, I'm like, I'm very much centred on the belief that, I can't think of the phrase, this is where the brain fog comes in. You basically have to, I can't think of the phrase. It's like putting yourself in other people's shoes.
Yeah.
Like, how would I feel if I was in that position? So it's like, I've had instances where I've felt a certain way, but people haven't picked up on it, and they haven't supported me, which isn't a reflection on them, but I think, well, what would I have liked in that situation? And it's, picking up on it and going, okay, this is what I would have liked, so I'm going to do that for you. Yeah, I think I'm very centred on that belief.
You just mentioned brain fog.
Yeah.
Talk to me about brain fog. What, for someone who hasn't experienced it, what does brain fog feel like?
I mean, it's literally, you could be having a conversation, and then, like, in my head, I map out what I'm going to say. Like, the sentence is already pre-made and I've just got to read it, but then suddenly the screen goes blank and I'm like, oh, I can't remember what the word was, and it's just gone. Yeah. Or it could be, I'll be talking about one thing, and then that that sentence that I was trying to say earlier will pop up back on the screen. And I'm like, oh, that's what I was going to say, but it's not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really strange experience, but you can't do anything about it. Yeah.
Is that something you experience quite often?
Yeah. Yeah, some days are worse than others. I think when we've had conversations, sometimes it's fine, and then sometimes it's like, actually, I don't know, my brain just switched off. Yeah. And some days it will just keep switching off, and you're like, oh, okay, just got to try and find the nearest word I can think of. But yeah.
And how do you deal with that? Like, what are your ways of managing that when you're having, let's say you're having the worst brain fog day ever?
I think a lot of it, because I used to be very good at multitasking. This brain fog is very recent. So what it would be is like, I might be working on something, and if I know someone's going to have a conversation with me, I'll have to write down exactly what I was about to do, and I'll be like, can you just wait a second, and then write it down, and then I can come back to it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be the main thing, but most of the time you just have to let it happen and then just hope it comes back to you later. Yeah.
I mean, my ADHD definitely does that to me. If I get sidetracked on something, I often have to be like, okay, I just need to make a note on this, or I have to finish this one thing. Give me 10 seconds to do it.
Yeah.
Because once it's gone, like, it absolutely
Yeah.
is not coming back.
Yeah. I mean, we were literally saying just before this episode we were talking, and my notes app is full of so many conversations I've had or was going to have with people, and it's just full. Yeah, my notes app is my best friend at this point.
I have a lot of notes in mine, but also I've got in WhatsApp, there's like a notes to self. You can send yourself messages in there.
Oh yeah.
So there's like a to-do list in there, and I have like multiple versions because it's like, if it is super important, like, I mean, it's absolutely vital, I will email it to myself because I know that I'm going to be in my inbox. If it's like a non-urgent thing that I just need to remember at some point, or like it was an interesting fact or something that I want to come back to, it goes in the WhatsApp like notes to because unfortunately, in my actual notes, which by the way are fully like, there's folders of stuff in here, and it's all like this podcast and all my notes on here that they have a whole separate folder and key terms and stuff so I can search for them, but things also go missing there. Like, do you have any examples of like notes that you might have like randomly stumbled across?
Oh gosh. I'm trying to think. I'm sure I've had some funny ones. Like, I've had plans for what I'm going to do for the day, and they just go out the window. I've had messages or like poems, because I sometimes put poems or like nice things in birthday cards and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll just suddenly find one from years ago, and I would just think, oh, did I actually send that card? I don't think I did. So yeah, but I'm just like, don't poke the hornet's nest. If you've got to send it, don't bring it up.
Do you ever have those, I mean, like it's got like 3 words and you have absolutely no idea what those 3 words would have been, or why it was really important to write that note to yourself?
Yeah, all the time, and quite often, because it used to be notepads. I'm still very obsessed with stationery. It's quite a serious obsession, and especially pens. But I will just have notepads with phrases or like very short sentences in them, like on a single page, and I'll think, what did I write that down for? But I haven't got a clue. I should date it really, and then I can work back.
That would be handy.
Yeah.
I mean, I also love stationery and I love a good notebook. The problem I have is once it's written down in a notebook, I have no way of like indexing it. And I realised probably about 5 years ago now that if I put it on paper, well, I will remember writing it down, but I probably will never go back to it.
No.
Whereas with the digital, for me, that's my way of going, okay, as long as it's got a search function in here, I've got an ability to kind of like order it and go through and sort of pick out the bits that I need to keep.
Yeah.
That works really well for me.
Yeah.
But actually the big one for me is screenshots.
Yes.
Screenshots on my
Yes.
phone. I'm also going to look at Connor. I wonder if you're the same. He is nodding. I have to go through my phone every now and then looking for, I know, random things, or my phone's run out of like storage. And there is a category on an iPhone now where you can literally search for things that have been screenshot.
Yeah.
Why did I think that was important? Also, I know now about myself that I'm not going back to ever look
Yeah.
at these, but the habit of screenshotting is still there.
Yeah, honestly. I do it with everything, like, especially if it's like you have to put a certain code in when you're phoning someone. I'll put it in, but
Yes.
then I frequently screenshot, so it's lost within the space of a week because I just screenshot all the time.
I tell
Yeah.
you what the big one of mine is, train times. Like when I'm
Yes.
looking up trains and like what time the next 3 trains, because
Yeah.
National Rail back home. So yeah, I'm looking at those, and I would say about 50% of the things I screenshot are just random train times.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Do you feel like your ability to pick up on things is a gift, a burden, or both?
I think in the right hands, it's kind of like a superhero thing. In the right hands, it's for good.
Yeah.
In the wrong hands, people take advantage. And I think I would say that it's in the right hands in my case, but it does feel like a burden, especially on those really tough days. But then again, I think I'm glad I was picked to be that way.
Yeah.
If it was given to someone else, then they might not treat people the right way. Yeah.
Are there ways that you protect yourself from emotional, like empath overwhelm?
I think it's probably bouncing it off of other people, because I think a lot of the time I'm like, okay, I have to fix it, and then I'll sort of burn myself out in the process. But then if I say to my mum, for example, I feel like I need to do this, I feel like I need to help this person, she'll be like, you can't help them. Like, for the most part, she'll say you can, but it's not on you to do it. It's not on you to fix it. There's people around them that can help. So I think it's having that go-to person to bounce it off of that keeps you balanced.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't always take it. I mean, especially at uni, I think I had a lot of experiences of people taking advantage of that. And I think being separate from family, I found it harder to balance it. But I suppose uni is quite a tough time for most people anyway. But yeah, I think where I am now, I found a very good balance in it.
Are there any tools, if there's someone out there listening that's also hard relating to being an empath, are there ways that you've learnt to switch off that empath energy, or to block yourself from feeling, especially people who are putting out a lot of negative emotions at the moment? Like, how do you stop yourself from feeling all the way into their feels?
I think it's probably not keeping a distance, but taking a pause from it. I think quite often, and I suppose it's the same with a lot of situations, like sometimes I can get very frustrated very quickly, but I suppose that's part of the bipolar and borderline personality disorder. So I think it's going, okay, this is how I'm feeling right in this second. Give it 10 minutes and see how I feel then. And then if I feel like I still need to do something, then maybe give it another 10 minutes and then think on that. And then, okay, then I need to act.
You run your own business.
Yes.
And you're obviously incredible at it, because you've got awards in here already. And I mean, remind me how long you've been out of university at this point?
Nearly 3 years.
And we've got at least 2 awards in there. And these are 2 in the intro.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I asked this as someone mindful of the fact that you're still very early on in your career. Has your experience with your mental health redefined what success looks like for you, compared to how maybe you envisaged it when you were like, I'm going to go be a creative and do all these badass things?
Yeah. Definitely. Because before it really hit me, I was kind of like, I'm going to do this job and I'll probably be burnt out, but it's fine because I'll be in the industry that I love. And I'll work the long hours, I can do it. Like, I can do silly hours and not have weekends off, but it doesn't matter because that's the big dream. But then my priorities shifted quite dramatically when I suppose seeing other people around me that were in the same situation, that were burning out very quickly. And I thought, do you know what? I just want a life where I can take the time when I'm not feeling well, and I work with people that understand me, and I don't have that big company pressure, like where you feel like you're a cog in a big machine and no one actually notices if you crack or if you don't. It's that sort of having someone there that actually notices if something's off. So I think, especially at university, I was thinking, oh, I want to go into the film industry, but then I kept seeing how people in the industry were feeling, and I thought, yeah, that's not going to fit with the lifestyle I want. And I suppose it's like, where I am now, I can take that time off. I'm with people that understand me, and I have those outlets that allow me to switch off as well, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm not like, I think I put it on the post on my birthday, I'm not a six-figure business yet, but that's something I can strive towards, and I've built a life that works around my mental health and my family, and that's more than I can ask for. Yeah. And I think it's those small victories that keep pushing me forward, really.
What would be your ultimate definition of success? Because I think we're all sold this, you know, we have to be multi-6, 7-figure businesses, and we're only going to work 3 hours a week kind of vibes. And, you know, great. I'd love that. I'd love to earn multi 7 figures or whatever for working 3 hours a week. I need to do that one again, don't I? What is success?
Yeah.
So what would you say your definition of success is now? Because I think we're all sold this kind of story that we can be multi-6-figure businesses and only work 3 hours a week. And I mean, realistically, as amazing as that sounds for all of us, you know, if we were all that, it would be incredible, but it's not. So where do you set your success factors?
I think for me, it's seeing that I'm making a difference for people, still being able to do those passion projects that keep those cogs in my brain ticking, and keeping my family happy, making them proud, and also probably providing a good life for my animals.
Yeah.
Talk
to me about those passion projects. What brings you joy?
Definitely filmmaking. Yeah, that's been on the back foot for a little while. I'm working on a few different things, like juggling a few different plates at the moment, just trying to sort of get things out of the pipeline. There's some things on paper. I'm sort of trying to get the investment at the moment, sort of looking into it. So, yeah, that's to be confirmed at the moment.
As in potentially filming something?
Potentially, yeah. Probably that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those. I suppose I've been looking into doing. I'm very much. I feel like people need to be recognised for the hard work they put in, and I think that doesn't always happen. So one project I'm kind of working on at the moment is like a behind the scenes of musical theatre, catching people in action, because they always forget about the people that work behind the scenes, and I'm kind of like...
Oh God, and there's so many people behind the scenes. In fact, there's probably more people behind the scenes than there are ever on the stage.
Yeah, and they graft like really, really hard. Like they work on multiple shows at one time. And I'm like, yeah, they work hard, they need to be seen. So I'm working on something with that at the moment. So
Have you ever wanted to be on stage?
I did at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did when I was very, very small. I didn't enjoy it at the time, but looking back on it, I wish I'd carried it on. I used to do ballet.
Did you? I did not know this about you.
Yeah, I used to do ballet and just dance and in general and musical theatre. And yeah, I think it stopped when I got to secondary school because I think people can just be I think it's a very sensitive time anyway. And you're very embarrassed and like the anxiety kicks in. And I think, that's one thing I probably regret is letting the critics get to me and just quitting. That's probably the only thing I've ever quit. I usually just carry on. I wish I'd carried that on and been on the theatre.
Have you ever considered like an adult ballet class or going to Amdram or?
I have, yeah. I did at one point do singing as well, and I gave that up as well. So I suppose that's a couple of things I quit. But yeah, I should have carried on. But I'm definitely looking into carrying those on now. Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is potentially we could see you on stage in the future.
You never know. Yeah, looking for that big break.
Do you think dancing would pull you in, or the singing, or do you do either of them in your house for joy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always now I think about it, I was very musical theatre. Like when I was a kid, I was the annoying sister that used to put on shows for the whole family, like, and not age appropriate at all, but I used to dance to Sweeney Todd and I'd pretend I was like doing the Sweeney Todd stuff and my family was just like, great, well done. I don't think they enjoyed it, but yeah, I did for definite. Yeah.
One of my favourite things when I'm just feeling my most unfiltered, authentic self, a dance party in my kitchen, or like a kitchen rave is like one of my favourite things to do. Just let it all out, sing at the top of my lungs, dance around. I'm sure there are people who might walk past and catch me through the kitchen window being like, oh, she looks like she's having a great time.
Yeah. I think I got caught on the treadmill the other day dancing to Abracadabra Lady Gaga. I was doing the dance on the treadmill and I don't think they didn't appreciate it at all, but I thought I put on a good show.
One of my favourite things, and every time I see one of these pop up, and I do not advocate for filming people without their consent in the gym. So if you are going to do it, like at least show them before you do it. But one of my favourite things is seeing people so immersed in their own world, listening to music on a treadmill and like doing the steps, dancing. I love a sachet, like a fierce sachet on a treadmill. And I am that person. If I am feeling the vibe, I'll just let it fly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a catwalk.
Yeah,
it really is a catwalk. Yeah. In that little 5-minute power walk to warm up, the hips are going. Yeah.
What's on your playlist? What's on your feel good playlist?
Oh, definitely Charlie XCX.
I love Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
The Brat album.
Oh, it's my favourite.
Yeah. And the remixed version.
Oh yeah.
I think that might actually have to be the soundtrack for the next decade of my life.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it's definitely Charlie XCX is the main one, whether my family enjoy it or not. I think it's just played on repeat.
Yes.
I'm in like the top 0.
I think,
1%.
I'm up there with you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I actually love about that album? And I think it fits so perfectly in with the theme of this episode anyway. I love how Charlie XCX is so honest about girlhood and inner thoughts. There is this song, oh my gosh, now my brain fog's kicking in.
I know the one about.
That Lorde did the remix on, and one of the lyrics in the original song is actually about what it feels like to have like a female friendship in the industry and then not feel like that is reciprocated.
Yeah.
And then when they did the remix, and it was sometimes I just have to remember she's a young girl from Essex.
Exactly.
And it just hit my, what is that song called? I can't remember.
The brain fog is kicking in.
Girl.
So confusing.
So confusing. That's
Yeah.
it. And the lyrics that, I mean, if anyone hasn't heard it or hasn't really listened to the lyrics, I thoroughly recommend doing it. But it's literally about girlhood and female friendship and that whole vibe of like, how do they feel about me? Am I enough? I don't feel like I'm cool enough for them.
Yeah.
And then for that dialogue to happen in the industry. And I think there was a text exchange or something on social media, and Lord had replied like, I'll see you on the remix, and then just come back going, oh my god, I felt exactly the same way. Actually, this happened because I didn't feel like I was cool enough for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Honestly, we just sort of, I think we just stand in our own way a lot of the time. It's like you've just got to let loose and try and reach out, try and communicate. There's nothing, what's the worst that can happen? They'll just say no.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the young girl from Essex resonated because I'm an Essex girl as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, iconic.
It is iconic.
Yeah.
I also love how she manages to stand up on that stage, like to do a one-woman show with that level of energy, but also be that intimate in terms of the lyrics and how she truly feels. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to be over Brat Summer. I think Brat Summer is going with me to my grave.
Yeah. Have it on the headstone. She's a brat girl.
Brat Summer until 20, however many years.
Exactly. It never died.
If someone is listening to this podcast and has a very similar page in their own user manual, what is one thing you'd want them to stop apologising for?
Stop apologising for? Well, I have a habit of apologising all the time.
You do, and I call you out on it all the time.
Yeah. So, not the best kind. I think if you're not feeling well, you're not feeling well. There's no reason to apologise. If people don't accept it, then they're not your people. Yeah, you're allowed to have a bad day and not be criticised for it. Whether you're physically ill or mentally ill, it's the same thing. It's an illness.
100%. And I feel like we are finally learning and finally accepting that our mental well-being is as important as our physical for possibly ever the first time. And thank you so much for being a part of that dialogue and really sharing that, because it is still, as much as the stigma is going, I still feel like it's still a very vulnerable place to be putting yourself in.
Yeah, and I think there's also this thing of people are obsessed, they call it a label, and it's like, well, no, it's not a label. It's just, if someone had any other health condition, you would diagnose it. It's a diagnosis. Like if someone broke their leg, you wouldn't just let them walk around on a broken leg. Like it needs support and nurturing. So yeah, just support and nurture it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you for just being so vulnerable and honest. And I know that there are people out there that need to hear the message that you have to spread. If there is anyone listening who just really resonates and perhaps wants to find out more about you and maybe read some of the incredible posts that you put online, where can they find more of you?
So I suppose the main one for me is probably Instagram. So at Eureka_creative_. I do have a YouTube channel as well, which is probably the same name. I haven't actually checked it, but if you look for Eureka Creative, it will come up.
We'll put it in the show notes so they can find it.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
But yeah, my DMs are open. Yeah, might take me a minute to respond, but yeah, I'll be there to answer any questions or just chat. I like a chat occasionally.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again. And if anyone has been listening and has really resonated, maybe they know someone that might need to hear this or has questions for either of us today, please feel free to put something in the comments or reach out to either of us directly. You will find all the links to access that in the show notes. Also, if you are affected by anything that we have spoken about today, I will also put some links in there for support if you need to reach out and speak to someone and make sure that you're getting the help that you need. I will be back next week with another episode, but for now, just remember, you're not broken. You're just finding your user manual.